All right, guys, we're gonna try this for a third time, see how this works. I'm going to go over a few of these, and then I'm also going to go over the cookie conversion a little bit too right now. So I'm just gonna do a few of these so you can get the idea, since this is the third time I've been doing it on here. All right, so what we have here is the first one. We didn't do all of these, and I don't even think we ended up doing all the circled ones. I just wanted to make sure that they knew that we couldn't always just move decimals around. So what I mean by that, if you're not sure, is that we have units: kilo, hecto, deca. We have our base unit. We have deci, centi, and milli. And now on this kilograms, I've got 1.2 kilograms, and I want to get to deci, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to move this decimal spot, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer becomes 12,000. Oh, it's in green. There we go. So the answer is 12,000. Now, a lot of kids were just moving decimals back and forth. If I would have went from deci to kilo, I would have went 1, 2, 3, 4. And I would have moved the decimal to the left. So these that we're getting ready to do, you can't move decimals around. You have to know, am I going to multiply, am I going to divide? And especially when we get into some that have several steps involved. So another one that we did together in class was number 2, and that is, and we're going to learn about this. This is scientific notation. This is 0.00002. That is the same thing as 2 times 10 to the negative 5th. In your calculator, you might see it as 2 with an E, negative 5. Same thing. So I need to get from meters to inches, so I can't just move these decimals around because I'm going from English units into metric. When I'm in metric, that's when I can move things around. So I'm going to start off by writing what they give me. So 2 times 10 to the negative 5th meters. And I'm going to need to use this sheet here maybe to help me figure out what my game plan is. So if I want meters to inches, I know I have centimeters to inches right here. So I'm going to do meters to centimeters first, then centimeters to inches. So these are some 2-step problems, so it's a little bit more involved. But the whole idea is that I need to get rid of that unit. And to get rid of that unit, if you're on bottom, you are dividing. So in division, you can simplify, you can get rid of units. So if I were to put it on top and solve for it, if this were on top, it would be meters squared, and I don't want that. So I want centimeters here, and centi means 100th of a meter. They're tiny there, it's 100th. So there's going to be 100 of them in 1 meter. So this cancels out. And right now my answer would be in centimeters, but I need it in inches. So I'm going to do a second step. Centimeters has to be diagonal from that. That's division, so I want those to cancel out. And I want to be left in inches. And 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. And I got that number back here, right here on this page right here. Right? So centimeters cancel out. It leaves me in inches, which is what I need. And when you solve for this, 2 times 10 to the negative 5th, multiply by 100. Take that answer and divide it by 2.54. You should get 7.87 times 10 to the negative 4th, or it might look like 0.000787. I'm not real picky on how you round these things, so don't worry too much about that. All right, another one we did is number 4, and it was a 1-step problem, but we needed to use this again because we're in, miles, and we want kilometers. So if you look here, we have, let me find it, it's on here, kilometer to mile right here, 1.609 kilometers equals 1 mile. Right, so when I start this, I'm always going to start off by writing down what I'm given, which is 1.2 miles. Miles are going to go on the bottom, and I want kilometers on top. Now it told me 1.609 kilometers in 1 mile. Alright, so my miles cancel, leaves my answer in kilometers. I'm going to take 1.2 and I'm going to multiply that by 1.609, and it's going to give me 1.93. Alright, I don't need to do anything with these ones. If you multiply or divide by 1, it keeps the number the same, so you don't need to do anything with those. Alright, I'm going to do one more. Actually, I'll do 2 more. I want to show you this 145 milliliters to centimeters cubed. If you look here at this one, it says 1 gram of water equals 1 milliliter. 1 milliliter equals 1 cubic centimeter. So they are the same, they equal the same thing. So if this is 145, then this would also be 145. All right, so let's go up to number 6 and do that one. So with this one, we have feet per second. So we have 2 variables here. Instead of just having miles to kilometers, we have feet that we need to get to meters, but then we also have seconds that we need to get to minutes. So if I do 17 feet over 1 second, that's the same thing as this. 17 feet on top divided by 1 second on bottom. You can pick whichever one you want to start with. I'm just going to pick feet. You could start with your seconds first to get rid of that. But I need to get rid of this unit, so I need to divide by it. So it's going to go on bottom there. And I can get from feet to meters. I can do this in several different ways. I can go feet to inches, inches to centimeters, centimeters to meters. That's a lot of steps though. You could also go feet to yards, yards to meters. So I believe that is on this right here also. I'm just going to go ahead and we'll do that one, feet to yards. So we have 3 yards and 1 foot. So right now, I'm going to cancel that out. And if I were to solve for this problem right now, my answer would be in yards per second. But let's look here. We have yards to meters, I believe. Yes, 1 meter equals 1.0936 yards. All right, so I'm going to put 1.0936 yards are going to go on bottom because I need that to cancel out, and that is in 1 meter. Okay, so my yards, they're gone. So right now my answer would be in meters per second, right? I need meters per minute. So right now I'm done. I've got my meters, I'm done with my distance. I need to mess with my time. So seconds. Since it is on bottom, I'm going to put my seconds on top because now that they're opposite of each other, they can cancel out through division. And I know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So my seconds have canceled. It leaves me with meters per minute, which is what I'm looking for. Now guys, this is not going to be for a grade or on anything for a grade. You will see this type of problem maybe as an extra credit problem. So if it's confusing, don't worry too much about it.
Oh, it's okay.
So if you take 17 and you multiply 3, take that number, divide it by 1.0936, and you multiply by 60, your answer would be 300, and if you round it up to 311. Number 7, I'm not going to do, I'll give you guys the answer, but I'll let you try to set it up and figure it out, and if you get it and want to show it to me, send it to me, but if not, if you're not understanding, let me know and I'll show you the work behind it. But number 7, the answer is 0.153 if you round. Once again, I'm not real picky with the rounding, so whatever you like there. Alright, so that's the harder conversion worksheet. What we were doing before this was just all metric units, and you can just move the decimal around, but I told them I wanted them to really start using the parentheses because we're going to have to later on in chemistry. Alright, so looking at the cookie conversion to get you guys started on that. Let's go here. Alright, so each group in each class got a different number of cookies that they were to make on this. So I'm just going to give you guys a random number and I'm going to say 8. So everybody at home at remote learning will do 8 cookies as their starting point. Now in previous years before we had COVID, we would figure this stuff out. We would go downstairs and we would use our scales that chemistry has and we would measure out all the ingredients in grams and we would then try to make our cookies and see how they tasted. We can't this year, so I'm just going to bring cookies into the class. Wish you guys were here to eat some cookies at home for us. So what this is this tells us exactly how to make, this is a recipe for 60 cookies. So it's 2 1/4 cup. That's how much should make 60 cookies. So I did the example if I would have given you 20. So if I would have said, hey, you're going to do 20 cookies right here. How do you set that up? Is you would say, okay, you always start off with what you're given, and that's what you were given. So then you're going to do your parentheses, and I'm going to put CK, I'm using CK for cookies. So I'm going to put cookies on bottom because that's what I want to get rid of. I want to be left in grams. That's what we're trying to do through this whole thing. All of our measurements need to be in grams because in previous years, that's all we could measure, and I wouldn't let them have any measuring cups. So cookies, and I know that I have 2 points, that is 2.25. Don't use any like 1/4. If it's 3/4, use 0.75. I'm going to use 2.25 cups of flour in 60 cookies. That's how much it takes to make 60 cookies. So right now, if I were to quit, these cancel out, my answer would be, how many cups of flour do I need? It would just be like me saying, hey, a normal batch makes 60 cookies, but I only want to make 30 cookies. How much flour do I need? Well, 50% of that, that's kind of easy to figure out, but when I give you 8, you have to think about that a little more. So right now, this is in cups of flour, and I want it to be in grams. So I'm going to do the second step. I'm going to put cups of flour on bottom. I need that to cancel out in grams, and that's where this comes into play. All these little parentheses here. There are 120 grams of flour in 1 cup of flour. So right now, my cups of flour, they cancel out, leaves me in grams. So 20 cookies times 2.25 divided by 60, multiplied by 120, and that will give you 90 grams of flour. So that's what you would do. All of your work, this, by the way, don't write this down as your answer is not 90 grams. I use 20 cookies. You guys are going to use 8 cookies. So this would all of this right here will look the exact same. You just need to change this number, all right? So change that number to 8, but you will still set it up the exact same. Now you will do that for each ingredient in the recipe. So if I have 8 cookies and I want to know how much baking soda, I know 60 cookies, I need 1 teaspoon, then you would have to go from teaspoons to grams. All right, so if you have any questions at all on that stuff, please let me know. You can come in at any time after 2 o'clock on Fridays now, our full remote learning day, so you can come in anytime you need to then. We could set up Google Meets, whatever works best for you, let me know and we'll try to get it arranged. All right, I hope you guys are all doing good. Talk to you later.